We are live.
Oh, what? I didn't even know we were live. What is this live stuff?
Gentlemen, can I just ask you a question? If you see a Caucasian male with a cowboy hat walking with a Silverado car door, just walking like it's a briefcase, what is your first reaction? Because mine is I'm running because I know the apocalypse has begun. I'm terrified.
Mine's to look down and keep myself occupied. What am I doing? I am painting this fence. I don't even understand. I don't even have paint.
Are you not curious as to why he's holding that door?
Marcus?
Nope. I feel like he's stole that or whooped somebody. Something bad doesn't happen. He's too happy.
Mark, let me ask you a question, Mark. If he calls you
got
boy,
his baby mama.
But if he calls you boy or the infamous N-word, do you say anything or do you keep it moving?
Oh, I'm absolutely gonna say everything, but after he leaves.
And then
I'm absolutely motherfucker. You can't believe this motherfucker just did that. Go on social media.
Charlotte looked like she was dressed for the Black Panther party. I mean, she was ready.
That's a leather.
That
member of the Black Panther movement.
But you know what it was? It was yesterday. She saw her baggy look, and she went to her tailor and said, "Take that shit in, make it tight."
Well, Charlotte came to work. She was in her work boots.
Oh, you know, can I say, Charlotte, I appreciate although I don't appreciate what's going on between them, I appreciate Charlotte being so full of hell. She knew when she came to work, she was coming there to take care of business. Like, I don't care who this bitch is. And I appreciate that. That's what you need in life. You know, you need to walk in and you need to know exactly what your plans are. And your plans was to whoop up Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, this is as a black man in America, this is the scariest day for me. These are white people that were unstoppable today.
Marcus, the blondes were out of control, my brother. The blondes were out of control.
The Aryans of the Nazi parties. If this was them, I was like, fuck.
Lucha Dog said the white man saying "boy" is the dog whistle for the N-word.
Yeah,
it is.
It
Almost
is.
like Randy Orton saying "homie" this week.
Yeah.
Hey.
or me yelling out a hootie hoo. If you hear hootie hoo, you better know people about to run. You know, knuckle up, buckle up.
And we'll be back after we fight with ourselves as we control our narrative right after this. Welcome
everybody to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. I am Eric.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And I am Marcus the Grand Finale.
AKA the notorious POG.
No!
Get out, man. Notorious.
No.
He's notorious.
You know what? I'm gonna screenshot you again because you grabbed your mic like the hot dog, and you're gonna have another one. And this time it's personal. I'm putting the dick right there. I'm putting the dick.
You can't play it. You can't put it on YouTube.
Big old
Marcus, if you do this, like how Manny lost his favorite line right here.
That's my son. This is my boy. My boy.
That's what it felt like this week when we got the news that Sky Hall passed away. It was a very sombering announcement. He suffered multiple heart attacks and he was placed on life support. And it was like the worst kept secret that he wasn't going to make it through. Many people talked about his passing. I know Marcus and Manny both discussed it on the Tuesday edition of the show. And I just wanted to say, yes, it did hit me hard also because, you know, as Marcus said on Tuesday, when him and Kevin Nash made the jump to WCW, this was the first time that you thought it was real. The now what we know as the Forbidden Door was open and real shit was about to happen. So when I thought about how legendary Scott Hall is, the one thing that Scott Hall never did was actually win the world title in either WWE or WCW. My question to it for you guys is Scott Hall the greatest wrestler to have not won a major championship? When I discussed this with Marcus, he said I should probably limit it to WWE, but I'm just gonna make it broad. Who would you put over Scott Hall? Who would you select? Manny, I'll start with you first.
I think you can throw Perfect in the argument. I think you could also. Could you throw Piper in that argument?
I tried to throw when I had this conversation with Marcus. Marcus says that Perfect won the WCW World Championship. I don't recall that happening, but
I wasn't a WCW
happened.
guy, so
yeah, that's why I was like, you're not gonna get this. Piper and I think they all won the World Heavyweight Championship in WCW, but Jake Roberts might be the correct answer. But also, I think it's a tie between him and Scott Hall, considering that their life is so parallel. Considering that DDP helped save both of them at one point.
That is also true.
I believe he means DBRC. But after that video,
DBEs. No, DiBiase bought the world title, so I don't know what that count as.
I kind of personally wanted to. I don't know if it's even true, but I was thinking Ravishing Rick Rude. But Marcus also told me that he won in WCW, but I didn't watch WCW. I don't think so. Looking at 3-time international world heavyweight champion. I don't even know what title that is. But
yeah,
I just know that Rick Rude was a champion because he caused so much dissension in the home that we grew up in, which is the. But I think no one could doubt that technically, in so many ways, Scott Hall of the tag team of the Outsiders would be considered the Marty Jannetty of it because he didn't have the championship run that Kevin Nash did.
Eric, there are Marty Jannetties, but like
he's not.
I don't think you'd ever call him a Jannetty.
No. Scott Hall has been in too many big moments in wrestling history. Jannetty has only been thrown through a barbershop window. It's the highlight of his solo career, technically, and his tag team career too.
And also offering up Adrian some dough for his wife or something like that, and got a Hall of Fame ring.
Whatever's going on with this man.
That's a great story, and I'm waiting for the next piece.
But when you think about Scott Hall, first segment on the history of Monday Night Raw. The main catalyst of the Monday Night Wars when he showed up on Nitro with the whole you don't know why I'm here, you don't know who I am, stuff like that. Founding member of the NWO, the Razor Ramon gimmick in general, the basically the introduction of Sean Waltman and the 1, 2, 3 Kid storyline, which was pretty epic in what it was.
May 1, 2, 3 Kid, that was like because it felt real.
Yeah. The hey yo chants, the walk in the slide, just everything. Got to do some race appropriation that no one's mad at. No one. Because the more I walked around and it's simmered in throughout my week, and people at work, people are like Razor died or Scott Hall died or whatever, whichever person they decide to bring up. And it's mostly, from what I get, Hispanic people who really connected with that character of Razor. Because he was basically Scarface.
Because he oozed machismo, man. Like, that was the first time I've ever heard the word machismo. And it was just like...
Macho Man?
Huh?
Macho Man had that first.
He didn't... No, he had madness, Marcus. He didn't have machismo.
No, he had machismo.
I don't remember him ever saying machismo.
As a child, I thought machismo was some type of cheese.
Excuse me, son. On my sandwich, can I have machismo?
Can I have some machismo? Can I have a machismo burger, please?
Well, El Luchador says that Scott Hall is half Cuban. So technically, if that's true, then it was not race appropriation, and we were not full. But I don't know. But El Luchador also he listed Jake Roberts, Roddy Piper, Ted DiBiase, Owen Hart. All wonderful selections of people who never got that big chance at carrying the 10 pounds of gold.
I'm putting a name out there because he's going to appear on Raw is Retro after WrestleMania. And this guy's a man. Dan Severn, Dan the Beast Severn.
Wow.
He may have won the NWA title, but that wasn't a real title in that era.
Yeah,
That's a real man.
Yeah, Dan Severn. Oh, not to discredit the Nick Aldis NWA title, but Dan Severn was legit. I saw Raw. I was like, that man was ahead of his time. He will fuck you up.
Can I tell you something?
I want to watch Dan Severn versus Walter or Gunther right now.
Just to close out the whole Scott Hall thing, I think the thing that Scott Hall was a great performer. I'm glad he was able to overcome his demons, and on top of that, I think that he gave us one of the best Hall of Fame quotes as of right now that I shall play right now.
Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
And his legacy will live on. May he rest in peace, but the show must go on, and we need to talk about
throw out William Regal because what's it called? Luchador brought it up. I was about to say that and I forgot. Because I remember earlier in the week, I was like, William Regal should be. When I watched Dynamite, that's when that actually came. I was like, William Regal ain't never won shit. He should have. He should have been. He won the King of the Ring as most.
I just want to pay a little bit of respect to DDP, because I think if without DDP, I think Scott Hall would have passed a lot sooner.
I would agree with that. I think that DDP actually saved Scott Hall and also Jake the Snake. I mean, that they're still here to be able to pass the thing. I mean, when I was doing the yoga, I felt good, but I think being in that accountability home, I mean, that outside of wrestling, DDP has really done a lot of magic for, which was a very, very hard life for professional wrestlers back in the day. Like, well, it seems crazy.
Well, what that house does is what I learned in all my alcohol training is that you when you live in a house where it's positivity and you're surrounded by people who
want you to
are
do
encouraging, wanting you to do well, encouraging you're out of a negative environment of the people who you like always drinking, like your normal friends. You really are. It's easier to sober up that way, and that's kind of what DDP did for him and Jake Roberts. It put him in that positive environment, and really separate him from his usual pack of people who would, be like, come on, man, come on, so I have a drink. And then you connected with familiar times and all the other stuff. So that's what I learned in my quest for sobriety.
Now, Manny, do you have something to say? Because I was going to piggyback on what Marcus
said.
No,
I've got nothing.
So, Marcus, what you saying about being in a positive environment and being around good individuals that make you, I guess, generate, a better outcome on your life. Does that make you feel that the Control Your Narrative promotion will be successful because they are trying to?
How did you?
How did you do that?
You're a prick.
Because this week, the Control Your Narrative group decided to announce their rules. I shall read their 8 rules. Bear with me.
How come they couldn't get the 10? They struggled to get the 8. Why not just milk this to get the 10?
I have so many things that I can say about Control Your Narrative, but however, I would like to read the rules first and say we appreciate you trying, but we don't know what you're doing. Rule number 1, you are in control.
Ooh. Okay.
Rule number 2, Marcus, can you guess it?
You are in control.
Rule number 3, fights end when you tap out, get knocked out, can't stand, or quit. Sanctioned matches can end via pinfall.
How many unsanctioned? Why are we talking about unsanctioned matches in your rules?
Wait. 4th rule, standard professional wrestling rules apply for sanctioned matches. Chaos ensues in the project pit.
What was different between this one and the last one other than that last sentence?
Marcus, they wanted to have 8 rules. Bear with me. Number 5, no super kicks, no tope, suicidas.
Tope.
No Canadian destroyers. But can I do a Panama Sunrise, Marcus? That's my question. I don't know.
Honestly, they should add the Spanish Fly to that. And I asked Manny this, I think, on the show. What's the difference between, what if I'm going for a tope suicida in mid-match, but I tell the ref, no, he was laying down before I start, so that was a splash.
No, Marcus, what if you're going for that mid-match and then you tell yourself, because remember, you're in control, not anybody else. You're in control.
But Eric, remember, the fight isn't with your opponent. It's with yourself.
Yeah, so you're going to fight with yourself to do these Canadian destroyers and topes and Spanish flies, but you don't realize that you might knock yourself out
guys,
thinking about these rules.
I got 4 more rules to get through. Number 6, the fight is with your opponent. It's with yourself. Yeah. Sorry, Manny. Number 7, fights will go as long as they have to. Sanctioned matches hit their times. 8, if you want to control your narrative, you have to fight. And then El Luchador added the 9th rule: don't get hard, stay hard. And number 10, nobody is vaccinated. Quite frankly, I don't.
Can I just point out, Raquel Gonzalez is a dumbass for being in a relationship with this Braun Strowman. She has lost all credibility for me.
Hey, you don't have to be smart in the head if you're strong with the head, if you know what I mean.
Whoa, that was graphic. That was some Val Venus shit right there.
Hello, ladies.
But I like to
I'm
think
controlling my narrative.
I would like to think that they're in a relationship like Mark Barrow and Sable, in which they keep coming out to the ring together, but they're not really together at this point.
Basically, like Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon.
Yeah. We used to be my then wife. I mean, my wife.
My wife.
Eric, will you ever refer to your wife as my then wife?
I don't think I refer to Shantae in past tense unless she leaves me. I mean, I don't think.
Let's say you're 70 and she's still with you. Would you ever refer to your wife as my then wife?
No,
and so talking about a past version of herself.
No, I think at that point you'd have to try to flirt with Fiber like that bitch over there and see what happens, because she ain't old enough to move and pop you upside your head. You know. This was like the most ridiculous thing I've ever read this week that just made me laugh. And honestly, I thought it was actually good for wrestling, because I appreciate somebody trying to do something different, because watching AEW, their promises have kind of changed in so many ways, and we'll get to that later. But at the same time, this is so silly. It's like, let's take Raw Underground, let's put a new coat of paint on it and make it our rules, because that's literally what this is. This is Raw Underground.
Really? I don't know.
This is what Shane was trying to do. Marcus, you remember, this is Raw Underground, and then they took the fight pit away from NXT. I just don't know. I would not personally buy a ticket to the show or watch this, because it doesn't seem like it's something that would be up my alley of entertainment. But Marcus, what about yourself? Would you control your narrative?
No, I would want to see the clips and highlights of it first, but if it's something that seems like it's a complete train wreck, I may want to tune in. I feel like they were falling off a bunch of stuff. They were going after, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, which is basically Raw Underground, and Raw Underground kind of ripped that off, but they were ripping each other off. And then it's also released the rules like Jonathan Grisham's Terminus, but they actually have structured rules as like a real, technical wrestling match. So I don't know what this is. And this seems like the example of when you hear they go to Vince and he's like, oh, they have bad ideas. This is some of those bad ideas. I feel like that's Vince be like, no.
So
no.
Manny, I'm going to ask you a different question.
An asshole for it.
But you can answer the question I asked Marcus too. But does the wrestling world need this? Is this something that is like needed?
No, it's got a niche. It's a niche thing, and I don't think they're gonna get the views they're expecting. They may get the first viewing, the first show they do, they may get views because people want to see what this bullshit is. But I don't think these rules are gonna have any type of like, I need to stick around and watch more.
But I'm gonna say this: play devil's advocate on their part. Whether the rules are dumb is whatever, they got good attention. It got good attention. It brought attention to the control your narrative promotion because people are talking about it. They're mostly saying it's some dumbass rules, but it does pique your curiosity a little bit to what they're doing.
But like, we haven't seen it yet. But like, let's imagine you watching this. If it is exactly as it's written.
I hope not.
Are you sticking around? Because I don't think I'm going to stick around till the end of the show.
I kind of feel like this is like one of those things where we really need a watch along, and we even need to get the big Raw spread on there. Just everybody watches at the same time, just so we can all be like, "What the hell is this?" Because the narrative that I think they're trying to control is, quite frankly, is that nobody wanted to pay the price that EC3 and Braun Strowman was asking on the free agent market. Like, nah, we can't pay those prices right
they got? Is it just those two?
No, I believe they got Killer Cross. I think he's in that.
Marcus, that's not helping me right here. That's not helping
I know, but I believe what they have going for them is those three guys, probably Scarlett Bordeaux, who's probably the biggest star of all of them, and they have the WrestleMania weekend. So by doing it all together like that, they will generate some buzz, but I don't think this might be a lasting promotion. And watch 10 years from now, we're going like, I can't believe that they control your narrative. It's the number 2 wrestling promotion.
And Luchador says it's a Ponzi scheme, which could be also true.
Could be. Oh, they also have Eric Redbeard, apparently.
Man, that ain't, I mean, only AEW
that ain't a selling point
for Eric Redbeard.
That ain't even a selling point.
It seems like all the big muscle guys in WWE didn't use got together and said, yes, we're doing it this way. Soon to be Omos and Beard joining Controlling Your Marriage.
So I did hear about that El Luchador, about Karrion Kross or Killer Kross. I don't know what his name is now. Let's call him Kross. He's fighting Minoru Suzuki. Is that something that interests you and Marcus, Manny?
Not really. I'm sure Suzuki could have better opponents somewhere else. Again, Kross didn't thrill us on the main on NXT or some shows. Like he had a cool like look and gimmick and stuff, but nothing in the ring.
Which gimmick you talking about? Because I want the helmet to come back.
we don't speak of the helmet gimmick. We don't talk about their
me
Raw.
And AJ
we don't
Francis,
talk about.
Me and AJ Francis are gonna go looking for that helmet.
No, I want that. So
you know, the helmet probably gonna be signed by AEW soon anyway. So just keep watching AEW.
The helmet is all elite.
Yeah, you know, shit. You
know
what?
Announces big surprise.
Can I honestly say that is like one of those things that just popped into my head, but I wish I would have thought of it sooner because then we could have had Manny pop up an all elite thing with the helmet that Karrion Kross had on. Yeah, we didn't want Karrion Kross. We just wanted his helmet.
That's what we would do. We wouldn't want Karrion Kross. We would want the helmet.
I know. Since we're talking about matchups on the indies, or something like that, or I don't even know if you consider Ring of Honor an indie anymore, but Supercard of Honor finally announced Briscoes, them boys, versus FTR. So worth your time or attention? I think it's worth actually watching.
For me, quite frankly, I think this is the match that AEW needed to put on. I think for me, it's something that I think it would appeal more to their audience and what they're trying to do. But for whatever reason, they're not doing that. They decided they want to go the Hardy Boys route, which
no, it's happening on Supercard of Honor.
I know. No, I'm this. I know what you say because I know Tony Khan like owns Ring of Honor and all that good stuff. But I'm just saying, like this type of match, this is what I thought AEW was gonna be delivering me, but instead I'm getting like a totally different product. I actually will probably try to go and watch this match because I am still one of those fans of very good tag team wrestling. I don't feel that AEW does good tag team wrestling, in my opinion.
But this is AEW.
By the way, after My Rise and all the tag team matches you have to do on WWE 2K20, I hate tag team wrestling once again. I hate it.
Well, Manny, you hate it.
I never want TNT with Chase again.
When you turned on me, man. When you turned on me, you hated tag team wrestling. You didn't
want because you didn't make that guy any better. He was overall 63. Every time I tagged you in, it was like tagging in Chase.
I hate Chase. I want to kill. Man, Chase is responsible for my only losses. I got 2 losses in 2K. Chase is involved in all of them. He took a pin in a triple threat match, cost me my trip to Mexico.
Actually, I just want to point out that I don't know what the reviews are for WWE 2K22. But for the record, for a game to at least get Marcus to play at least an hour worth of video gaming, it tells me it's a hell of a game.
You get caught up in
it. But no, Marcus, you don't get caught up into games, Marcus.
I do. When I start them, I get caught up. It's just when I leave, I never come back. Like I was caught up in the Gears of War. not a bad father, right? Junior is out there somewhere, okay? I'm taking care of him.
Explains so much. Rey Mysterio. I knew it all along. Oh, it got announced earlier this week, Eric, that Rey Mysterio is Times Magazine's worst father of the year. Not Kanye, for a surprise.
I'm glad because Kanye wants to spend time with his kid, but Kim want to have all those restrictions. I don't know, Ray wants his son to carry him around on his back. That's what's going on.
Well, his son's almost a 30-year-old man who needs to move out the damn house.
Anyway, let's move to SmackDown because we need to. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to professional wrestling. The show started off with Roman Reigns.
25 minutes of nonsense.
Hey, but that's what we do best.
Good.
I mean, it's normally 10 minutes on Tuesday and Thursday. At least we aim for it to be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns was on another level of bullshit. And quite frankly, the wise man should be fired because I don't know where he was getting his intel or who was texting him at one point that Brock couldn't leave Saskatchewan. The next thing you know, it was in a matter of seconds, he's here. And then, because I want to point out that it went from him not being able to travel to getting there, that he was able to be backstage with a forklift. I want to know, do you still respect your tribal chief, Manny, after he was talking all that shit about, pretty much being on a different level, being in the mode that many people try to obtain, but they can't. But then when he found out Brock was there, he tucked his tail and he ran.
Eric, when you're operating on God mode, you also operate on I need money mode. And he was thinking, I need to get to WrestleMania to get my big, fat, juicy paycheck. That's what he was thinking about before Brock Lesnar decided to try and murder him and his cousins.
Yeah. You heard Brock Lesnar. Roman, I need your blood, Roman. I need your blood, Roman. So he was thinking, Eric, as the tribal chief, the head of the table, he has to keep putting food on that table. And if he would have saw Brock Lesnar tonight, he may not be able to be around anymore because Brock needed blood tonight. Blood, Roman.
But Brock was not in the wrong. Roman brought this upon himself what he did to the man in New York City. This is
New York City.
That's at Madison Square Garden. I'm just saying Brock is in the right, but Brock is full of hell. My favorite thing is that after they destroyed the blacked out SUV, somebody got their pickup truck stolen. I don't know who pickup truck got stolen and vandalized, but now they have a pickup truck. Do you think the Usos and Roman just left that car on the side of the road someplace? Like, you know how when someone just robbed the bank?
The car.
Grab that bottle. And this car, let me get out before it explodes.
And then set that shit on fire afterwards. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, the Usos are experienced with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't believe none of you two didn't go that route. I can't believe it.
Well, there's a reason we saw Roman driving and not Bill.
Hey, guess what, guys? We're on God level right now with the one-liners that we're coming up with. This is pure fire right now. This is hot shit.
Yeah. No, I do sympathize for the person whose car that truck that belonged to, who saw that on TV and was like, "Is that my truck? I was only gonna be here a minute."
Marcus,
and then saw the door, walk out ringside, and go.
Marcus, at that point, you realize that that was your truck, but you ain't gonna tell that person who just hit your truck.
You can't do shit. You can't do shit.
Like,
what I'm gonna do? Walk up to Brock Lesnar and be like, "Hey, man, I believe you gonna owe me some money." You have insurance.
But then he saw the Shinsuke and Boogs Toyota advert.
Yeah.
That's what he needed to do. That needed to be a Toyota Tundra.
No, because you don't want to ruin the Tundra. But like,
you know what I said? Like, the doors could easily come off.
No, what he needed is to beat off Brock, and it's like, oh, I've got a Toyota Tundra.
I just want to point out,
I
feel like Brock Lesnar is Butch's final form. Like when Butch decides to evolve to his next level, he turns into Brock and he starts ripping story. Because that's how much anger Butch got in his system. He looks like Brock Lesnar.
But you know, on the same level of Roman running away and cowering out of there, I I wish he would go to NXT for one day and just tell these heels on that show that's how you're supposed to do it. Not calling out people and making triple threat matches.
No, I love the
coward.
way Roman
Get
just
out
had
of
the
there.
mic and was like, "Okay, you need to finish this."
Yeah, we got
He just was gone. He
So-
was like, I ain't got time for this. And Paul was like, no, I'm coming too. I'm coming
Mark,
too.
so I asked you this question though, Marcus. I asked you, was more terrifying a man walking out with a door? But now let me ask you another question: are you more terrified of Brock Lesnar walking out with a door, or watching another grown ass man curl and bench press another grown ass man? Because that's what Boogs did to the Los. He was curling a grown ass man, which I don't think is very respectful of you, that man.
Well, if I'm a man, I would be fighting out of it. I don't know what the Lotharios were doing and not trying to fight to get away from this girl, but he stayed on there. You know, at one point, I thought the Lethal Lovers were going somewhere. You know, it seemed like they were getting that push. They had 2 weeks of good showings, and then this happened. And you were like,
no one said they are Eddie
Tundra
Guerrero
Boys.
recently, so.
The Tundra Boys, as I like to call Nakamura and Boogs.
I look forward to
Enjoyed
every
the
week
camping
of them selling it. Like, I mean, come
This is
on,
the
can I
end,
go
isn't
camping
it?
with
This
you?
is
That was the series finale because they were like, this is the last one at the end of their trip. This is the end of the sponsorship of Toyota. Although this may create more sponsorships in the future with WWE.
Well, Mark,
The thing is, though, it's those ones where it's like you're watching an ad, but you don't really know it's an ad at the moment.
Yeah, because the thing is, I feel like the ad has made it when it makes it outside of WWE programming, because I only see it on WWE programming. I ain't never seen like watching basketball or the NCAA tournament, and there go Rick Boogs and Nakamura.
All right. So in real life, Eric, if you were watching basketball, baseball, or something, who do you want to see get the Toyota Tundra and go on the benches with each other?
In real life?
Yeah, I know who I want to see. You're Los Angeles Lakers, Westbrook and LeBron in the touch together. And LeBron just mad. Yeah. I'm supposed to be getting my championship for you.
Hey man, we still got time.
We'll be better with the Tundra on the court than having you out there, Westbrook. I'm just saying.
Maybe Kenley Jansen and I did not get in contract from the Dodgers. He went to the Atlanta Braves. We swapped Freeman for Jansen. I think that's a pretty good swap. But speaking of people trying to throw their feather into the hat, get into the mix, we had a match where we had the women tag team champions actually make an appearance on Friday Night SmackDown, and even brought over Rhea and Liv. They had a match with Sasha and whatnot, but what needed to be said is that Natty, in the tightest jeans I've seen Natty wear in a long time, come down to the ring with Shayna, who at first I thought was Tamina because I thought they reunited. And they decided to get to the mix, trying to make this a fatal 4-way.
Wait. You just said something that blew my mind. Wait, Natty and Shayna won the tag team?
I didn't know who.
Weren't they taking the pins? But no, it was Tamina and Natty, huh?
I was making me some food. I really thought it was Tamina because I remember it was Tamina and Natty at one point. And then when I realized it was Shayna and Natty, I was like, shit, hot damn. I still called them old broads, but they were still there.
Wow.
Hey.
To be fair, though, Natalia has the worst stomps in the game.
What? She's always had.
Well, there's a lot of stuff Natalia does that I may call the worst in the game. Like the worst discus clothesline in the game goes to Natty. Probably the worst of my skills also goes to Natty. Like she's a terrible actress. Completely terrible. Like hasn't gained an ounce of it. But not to put this on a back burner, really solid women's tag match.
It was actually a really good match.
So for no reason.
Best match in weeks, months even.
And then I enjoyed the commentary of Queen Zelina and Carmella trying to get their decision because I don't think they're keeping them titles. I don't think they're going to keep them titles.
Carmella is too busy flirting, as they say, flirting with her husband, Corey, which doesn't make sense since they've been together for like probably a decade, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, because he left his wife for her or something like that. El Luchador said that against the thickest girl I would pass on award.
It's the voice. It's the voice.
So El Luchador, let me tell you. Be honest to yourself. No. Be honest. He needs to be honest to himself. You would not pass. You just wouldn't tell anybody.
No, I'd pass and move on to his sister. I didn't say that.
You ain't
Wow.
shit, Manny.
Wow.
You ain't shit. You
Wow.
ain't shit. You have
Manny,
ruined the Hart family.
Manny,
Manny in the dungeon with Manny's sister.
Manny,
I
demand an
That's
apology.
It's a different kind of dungeon.
We're in the game of apology. I demand an apology for Natty's sister because I want you to apologize for what you said. Like Pat McAfee apologized to Austin Theory on that night and let that motherfucker know.
Well,
Apologize right now, Manny.
I apologize, Eric, because you're a fool for trying to make me apologize for a comment where I like Natty's sister more than Natty. Why? Because Natty's sister does not sound like she is smoking 60 cigarettes this afternoon.
I don't know how Natty keeps the cardio up, to be honest. Consider he has to be a smoker. He has to be.
Man,
she sounds like Selma.
She just inherited her daddy's voice. I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's sad. But Marcus, what did you make of Pat McAfee's apologies to Austin Theory so he could keep his match at WrestleMania?
I have a few observations for this. One, what the fuck, Vince? In the middle of the show, you want me to go to the office?
Could do this before.
We couldn't do it during the commercial break. After what, we couldn't do this before the show with our Ryan. We talk. Number two, Pat McAfee had that walk up. I'm in trouble and I gotta talk my way out of it. In the back, it was like, I know what they're gonna say. I may get fired on TV right now, but he had that walk up. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Here we go. And then he came back out knowing he done won. So,
but the other thing is, does this make Austin Theory a little bitch?
But
I think
he
he's
was a bitch already. I think he was already a bitch. Like, yeah, this is bitch.
Do you think Pat McAfee, because that promo was better than most people's promos every week, is he being wasted in a sense on commentary? Because he's great on commentary. Don't get me wrong. But like having someone like that can speak on the mic can elevate so many people.
I feel like he would be a great person. And I know this in AEW, you know how they have Rampage and all it seems like wrestlers are doing the commentary. He would be great in that role that Jericho and Taz and Ricky Starks does, because that is I'm a wrestler / I do commentary on the side, or I set up my guys in my group in this thing, because he does that very well. And then Pat McAfee, I don't even know what that was.
Because Marcus, because I was calming myself down because you bring up Jericho and him doing commentating and then him also being like a main feature on the show. It bothers me, man. It just bothers me. Damn, Marcus, them kids got to go get your belt, Marcus.
He's got his own Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah. Come here, you little shit.
Why are you beating up some kids?
I don't know why he beating up kids.
It's all about my own inside insecurity. Like, you son of a bitch. Wait, how you gonna tell me about beating the kids? You wanted to fight that kid that kicked you in the shins.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Which kid?
Some kid in the store you worked at.
No, he didn't kick me in the shins. He punched me in the balls.
Mark, that's a difference, Marcus. That's a difference.
So as well.
I will say that SmackDown ended off with Ronda and Shayna. Ronda and Charlotte. I'm still more intrigued with Coffee and Sheamus' boys than I am with that. I was more intrigued with Butch trying to get up into Coffee's ass, man. Because I wanted to. Why didn't they let Butch loose, Marcus? Why didn't they let Butch loose old Coffee? Because actually, I want to see Coffee versus Butch. I think that would be a really good match.
You know Scrappy Dude can do.
Thing's gonna work as well. I think it may work. We may know him as a different name thing because they keep saying it. I think this Butch thing could work.
I told you it was. I like Butch. I told you last week on the show, and you can go back and you can take that for facts. I said Butch sounds like a dude that would be a dude that's going to kick ass, and because it's small, him being overly aggressive like Joe Pesci from the Goodfellas, it's amazing. And the fact that he ripped off his suspenders. And I'm like, Right now, guess what? I remember Butch. I couldn't remember Pete Dunne,
What?
but I remember Butch.
I remember Pete Dunne. That's my boy.
But you
My
remember how long
boy!
it took me
That's the bruiserweight. The baddest man in
no,
NXT.
but you remember how long it took me to get his name right, though.
Yeah, but that's you.
Yeah, that's just your conditions.
But Pete
Uncultured
versus-
swine.
That disrespect. Oh, but I don't know where this story goes without Big E because it's 3 of them and only one of Kofi Kingston right now.
Do you see the
I know
reports
Woods
that
wrestled at a house
Big E
show.
may never wrestle again?
Yeah.
That's how
Jesus.
serious his injury is because the things he fractured don't always heal properly. So he may. It's obviously once he's been clear, he's out of the neck breaks and stuff. They'll obviously do tests and stuff, but like you never know. He may never wrestle again, is what people
So
are saying.
he might be showing up 15 years again with a clean bill of health, able to wrestle.
Maybe.
I mean, with any type of neck injury, you're always concerned about what the outcome could be or overall effect. I just felt like it's such an unfortunate situation, but I'm hoping everything works out. And let's be real. If you're Kofi Kingston and you know you're fighting Sheamus Ridge, because Ridge looks like a star, and you fighting Butch, he looks like a star with that group. If you know that the only bullet that you have left in your gun is King Woods, you know you've already lost that fight. So
You done fucked up. You better go to NXT and find Braun Breaker or something to team with you. You in trouble.
yeah,
Trouble.
you better call. You know what? You might want to look at Angelo Dawkins since they're hitting that. Maybe Montez might be going by like, hey, I need a big guy. Dawkins,
Montez
can
is
you
going
help me
solo,
out?
man. You can see it in his physique change. He's bulked up.
Yeah.
You can see it after The Rock said that. He's gonna be solo. I was like, yeah, Taz want the mic all the time. Dawkins is just his homie at this point.
To the quote parents who say this, he's beginning to smell the hairs on his balls. He think he a man now. That's what's going on. You know what, El Luchador?
That would
Believe
be
it or not,
disgusting.
if Cody showed up to help out Coffee, I would take it. Coffee needs some help, damn it. He needs some help.
No, Seth
but
needs
you
a
don't-
match. Damn it.
Don't
Nah,
take this away
man.
from Seth. You saw Seth's desperation.
Nah,
Man, you
Seth,
have the image. Put
Seth
Jesus
is the
on
worst-
his. Put the
Seth
last
is the
temptation
worst
of
friend
Christ
ever.
up there. Put the last temptation of Christ. That's the saddest goddamn bitch I've ever seen in my life. That's a man with nothing left. He swear his wife and kid don't left him too.
So I
Just
guess
don't
we don't do we really care about talking about Charlotte and Ronda? Because I don't. It happened.
No, she put it through the table and stuff. And whatever reason, I enjoy this feud. I can't wait.
Just
for
like
the
you enjoy
match,
them
but-
kids yelling in the background.
Let's see, kids, shut the fuck up. I don't know what to do.
My boy.
And I shot that in the air, not at the kids.
You need
I need
your
Tom
sad
Brady to
boy.
come out here and say, fuck them kids, by the way.
Yeah, that's why he got a retirement. My boy.
By the way, our news cast of Cody updates.
Cody can get a rainbow unicorn tattoo on the other side of his neck.
The fact that you used emojis for this as well makes that comment so much worse.
Yeah. He took the time to find those emojis.
By the way, Cody Rhodes' latest update, he signed with WWE 2 weeks ago, apparently. Should be making an appearance.
Yeah, and apparently he's going to debut on the second night of WrestleMania.
Well, I can understand
Like
that.
wrestle? Or it's all the stuff with Cody. Who knows? No, I would never open a daycare center. Oh, no, I would open it, but I would never be there. I would have employees take care of the kids, and I just collect all the money you get from childcare, because that is where the money is really at.
Maybe Cody's just up there with Edge on Mount. Damn, I can't say the word. I wrote it, but I still can't. Omnipotence, omnipotence, whatever the mountain that Edge was sitting on top of. I can see Edge at the top, and then Cody is a sub boss right there, and then I can't think of it somebody else to put right there, just on the mountain of.
Of course, on this analogy, you've made Cody the 3-star man.
Yeah. Star. Because even if he does turn up at night 3 at WrestleMania, I can see it now. Cody, elaborate entrance with Brandy at toe.
Yeah, of course.
Having elaborate stuff. And then you get that nice 3-star match that Cody knows how to put out there. Only Cody
Marcus,
can do.
I know what his
Dude's
entrance is.
consistent.
I know what his
Dude's
entrance
consistent.
is. He's gonna put together back the throne that he smashed off. He's gonna piece it back together.
Please
forgive me.
And then Triple H come out and tap him on the head. That'll do.
Cody's
Bless
dream
him.
match would be if he could fight Triple H, who had a cardiac event. I mean, I actually think if Triple H was healthy, that probably would have been the match on the card. Cody versus Triple H.
Because Cody's been building it for like 3
Yeah,
years.
like shit.
Can we get some Triple H news, people? I want to know if this guy's okay.
He sent out the Scott Hall tweet. So
Yeah, but that could have been anyone. That could have been anyone.
I'm almost 100% sure, Manny, that he doesn't look the way that he looked before because of his cardiac situation. Because I'm pretty sure he had a heart attack, and anything about like the medication and stuff that he had to do, and probably the lack of being able to lift weights and whatnot, he's probably not the man that people have always seen.
He's lean,
and he
Or
might
chubby.
not want to be COO. Yeah, I would love to see Fat Triple H.
He's gonna be at the Hall of Fame.
Like quadruple
What
H.
do you want to see?
Quadruple H.
It's like H to the
XL,
fourth power.
Triple H XL.
Yeah, it's like
He's
fat
still
bastard.
He shows up at the Hall because he's gonna be at the Undertaker's Hall of Fame. He's gonna be there. I cannot imagine him not being there in attendance of some kind.
He might not
But he's
be
gonna
on
wear
camera.
his
Mark,
black and
you can
gold
be there, but
shirt.
you don't have to be there on camera.
He might
Just
be
like
on
Vince.
camera.
Just like Vince in the normal Hall of Fame ceremonies, but because he's inducting Undertaker.
So did you guys like Edge coming out to the ring in a suit? Like he's going all bad guy.
I liked it. I thought it was a good change up. If he's going to be a heel, he needs to go all in. Not that bullshit he did last year where he was kind of tweening, and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was kind of.
They're so loud, by the way.
Marcus, put your earphones all the way on. You wouldn't hear the kids.
Yeah, but we still hear them.
Yeah.
I'm just ignoring them.
But I feel like he needed to go all in with this, and this is the one way to do it. I enjoyed the music change and everything because people were going to cheer Edge no matter what. The one thing you could do, Jesus Christ, the one thing he could do is so P doesn't get that big pop reaction is change that song because everybody cheers Edge when he does it, and now he's going to get booed. He's got to get booed now.
I just feel like the good thing about this match is that for like the diehard wrestling fans, like watching the Edge versus AJ Styles fight is what you want to see. This is what everybody wanted. This is what we want on the card. But I appreciate them.
I want to see AJ versus HBK. I don't want to see no Edge. I was never.
I saw HBK. I saw HBK a couple of years ago. He ain't the HBK we used to know. I mean,
I don't want to see this HBK because now that he's bald, I don't respect it. And what they did to him in 2K22 is not justice. I don't know why he has so much hair.
They did Beth even dirtier if you play the female.
He's still a heartbreaker.
I haven't got the Beth yet.
But I think it at the end of it, like them trying to come up with some type of story of why they're doing it, because I don't really know who's taking the L in this match. I mean, Edge has not been that successful in his WrestleMania escapades, as I like to call them out. So we'll see. But I think it should be a really good match. Is it a Sunday or a Saturday match?
I don't know the way they've laid it out yet.
I think this might be a Sunday because it seems like everything falling on Saturday. All the women's matches are on Saturday.
Everything they keep saying, oh, this match is on Saturday. I'm like, damn, then what's on Sunday? Like, are we gonna have like 2 matches on Sunday? Sammy and
Knoxville.
Which
I'm glad they announced there was no DQ. I was waiting for this one.
I wanted a pure wrestling classic.
And so now, before we move to AEW, because I have 2 questions I want to ask you guys that took place on NXT. First question I have for you is like, are they finally doing what many people said they should have did a long time ago, where they're making NXT just an extension of the Raw brand? Because we've had a lot of cameos from Raw superstars showing up, and I will say that it does add an additional amount of, hey, I might need to watch this a little bit more to see what the hell is really going on. Manny, I'll start with you because Marcus got to take care of his kids first.
It's what was needed from the get-go. Like they needed more of a plug from Raw to go, hey, we're doing this over here, come watch it. And I think that was the idea of having Dolph now being the champion, is that he could probably do both shows and you'd be like, oh shit.
The craziest thing about it, though, is that when you really look at it on the surface, like, because Ziggler was also on Raw. On Raw, he comes across as a lower tier talent. Like, just, he's there. Like, mid-card at the best. But at NXT, at least for me, like, him showing up, Ray showing up is like a god showing up to a thing. So, like, him being basketball was, like, hilarious because, like, I don't understand how Joaquin and Raul could talk shit about the greatest luchador right there. And then when Ray said that his son was, I was like, now I understand how y'all talk shit. That dude is senile right there. But I enjoy these cameos. Marcus, what about yourself?
Yeah, these cameos work on the level that they need to do. It's one, bringing in the viewers to NXT, whose ratings have increased since the Dolph Ziggler and the Miz's and the Mysterio start showing up. And as wrestlers say, these guys need something to fight up to. And when Dolph Ziggler shows up, as mid-card as he's been his entire career, and you go, wow, really, it elevates the younger talent that they want to highlight on their show. And so it works, and this is all the genius idea, according to AJ Styles himself. Told Vince to do this. You need to do this and put me down there and start featuring some of these guys on there. And I think it's working for the show. It's the equivalent.
He was doing that. Wanted to do that too.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of what Tony Khan's doing in AEW with the way he's using some of his older talent in a way in which he's associating like Sting with certain people, and he was putting Matt Hardy with people in a way. But and then having these surprises of like, oh, who can show up on NXT next? If Rey Mysterio can show up, anybody can show up.
That's true. I mean, it does give that area of spontaneity that NXT really needs. It gives it a little life and support as you move into the 2.0 era, which I am actually enjoying. My last thing I want to talk about is one of the things that really stood out to me on the show was Cora Jade, and she was successful. She was 2 out of 3. She was able to get 2 of the members, but one got her wig smacked. So, Manny,
I don't appreciate half-ass work. That's half-ass work. You got 2 out of 3.
Manny, would you call Cora Jade successful in her quest because she did get a title match at the end of the day? Or would you say that she failed at what she was trying to do?
You failed at what you were trying to do because the intention was to get all 3 of them trapped. And she got caught. Never is there a situation get your ass whooped. A good situation of success.
Get your ass whooped by Mandy Rose too. Like Mandy put it on her.
No. But Idris may have said that those waiters last week were getting too close to Mandy, but and that she smelled of lavender.
No, like literally, I could do a whole show about everything that happened on NXT that I enjoyed. Like, because like Grizzled Young Veterans being accused of beating up people in a lot. Like the fact that the Creed brothers have no idea who attacked them, and it's like, and I thought right now my tag team is Imperium. Boy, Fabian and Marcel on the microphone. I was like, that boy good.
It's not that they're good. It's how you carry yourself when you're on that.
Like they're so smug. They're so smug.
And I realized I like smug people. And so I was like when he turned to the side, I was like, I mean, quite frankly, I think Marcel is the winner of Imperium, but Fabian put on that hell of a match. That one match I saw, I was like, damn, Fabian's
the better wrestler.
Yeah. But Martel has the better, I would say, look and
yes.
I guess charisma or presence, which he has a very William Regal kind of like, I'm better than you, you're beneath me kind of look. Like when he stands up on that perch.
And Walter ain't taking no shit in the back either, man.
Gunther.
Sorry, my bad. I mean, like, it's just so.
Let's
talk about Braun Breaker getting the hand-me-down car of NXT. It's amazing that he got the Charger. I mean, like, every former champion gets that car. It's
Damian Priest's car.
Yeah. We have no idea.
The most recent person had before Braun Breaker was Karrion Kross. He lost that in a divorce. We got called up.
No,
wait.
No,
Didn't
Priest had it. Priest had it. Cross had it first. Then Priest got it in the grind feud.
did LA Knight have it when he got beaten up?
No, LA Knight have always had a little sports car. Let me talk to you.
Because he's a little man. He couldn't see on the wheel of those charges.
First of all, can I tell you, I never thought that I would. LA Knight, as Marcus and I had this conversation, fit so well in the ring with Miz and that me and Marcus played a game. Can you guess who's the oldest in the ring? Manny, so now you're on the spot because me and Marcus know the ages. Can you put the people who were in the opening segment of NXT in their proper age order? Can you do it, Manny?
No. No, I can't. You know why? Because you have done some pre-research.
Yes.
Well,
So
we judged me, and we were both wrong.
we were both wrong. So, Manny, we know the answers. We want to see if his
I think
lordship.
Bobby Roode's the oldest.
Marcus, is he right?
Correct. That is correct.
You're right,
Bobby
Manny.
Roode is 46 years old.
46. All right, Manny, you got it. Go, come on. Who's number 2?
And then I would say, who else was in the ring?
You
had-
have
You
you have the order, Eric, because I forgot it. Because it gets dicey toward the end.
We
Right
have
here.
Miz, we have LA Knight, we have Dolph, and we have Robert Roode.
Okay, so Robert Roode, LA Knight. I want to say Dolph and then The Miz.
All right. So LA Knight is 39, so you're already wrong because he was the youngest in the ring.
He looks the fucking oldest.
That's what I said, Eric. I was like, man, that's a bad 39. I was like, I'm 30, I'm 37. In 2 years, I'm gonna be like that. Shit.
No.
I mean, he's in great shape, but
It was when we
old
was watching
wise.
Raw Retro. Mick said he was like 30 something, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Damn,
me
Mick,
too.
you look like you're 100."
Him and Terry Funk look like equals at that point. Like, damn, man.
Yeah. So Dolph Ziggler is my age. He's 41. He'll be 42 this year. And then The Miz is also, I believe he's 40.
I think he's 41, 40. I think he was the same age
Yeah,
as
he's
Dolph.
41 because then afterwards, Betty, Marcus and I correlated. Oh, this all makes sense because when you think of the crew that The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Cody Rhodes, and Matt Cardona, they all around the same age, except Cody is the youngest of that crew.
I think Cardona's younger than actually Cody.
He
I
looks
think
like shit.
Cardona's just 35.
But the shocking thing that LA Knight was 39 is what got everybody off guard. That was like,
I stood up and went, shit.
let me talk to you.
He talked to you. I'm 39, yeah. Like,
Motherfucker, you need to start using cream or something. Stay out the sun.
Stop going to the sun, man. Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Well, maybe, when you think about ages and you go like, Finn Balor is older than LA Knight, and you look at him, you go like, how are they even close to the same age?
Finn is older than LA Knight.
Finn's like,
It's
40
like 30 or 40. He might be
Shit.
40 or 39 or something like that.
Now I gotta look it up because I need to know.
Eric's got a spreadsheet of every wrestler's age.
Yeah.
Oh, he was born in 1981. Shit.
Yep.
He 40. Damn.
Yeah. And you look at him and he looks like he's in his 20s probably. And then you look at LA Knight, you go, what the fuck, man? You look like Greg Oden.
Should I ask a question? Should I be mean or should I not be mean?
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
That mean bastard you are.
Yeah, be the bastard.
All right. So is Natty older or younger than LA Knight?
Her voice is
Natty's-
older than LA Knight, but I think she's younger than LA Knight.
Natty is older than LA Knight. Natty is 43 years old.
Marcus, you're wrong. They're exactly the same age. They're both
Oh.
39 years old.
Damn, they both aging bad, man. They got the bad genes. I'm sorry.
But we've just listed white people. We know this.
Yeah, because
Well,
you pull up MVP like 53. You be like, what?
No,
Yeah,
the real
so-
example is you put up R-Truth. The man hasn't aged for about 20 years.
But no, but see the thing was though,
Vaseline
ladies,
and believe. That's all you can
see,
do.
the problem is though, is that he finally caught up to his age because when he was young, everybody said, man, he looked old, but now he's at that prime where he's okay. Like MVP is 48 years old. 48.
Well,
R-Truth's like 50 something.
yeah. But I think R-Truth and Jericho are the same age.
Well,
one of them is struggling. One of them struggling to try to keep whatever they have going, and the other just seems like.
I mean,
he
Jericho
wakes up
looks
and I'm
good
like, oh.
right now, but like a few months ago, he looked awful.
Well,
looks
since
60.
we already let's jump into that AEW universe, that universe
By the way,
right there.
can I also say I was going to say this for one of the Raw's retros that I record, but S.A. Rios is only 43 years old. Fuck.
S.A. Rios.
So, Manny, when I called Marcus on my drive home yesterday, he decided that was something that he needed to drop on me, that S.A. Rios was 40.
just in conversation. How did that come up in conversation?
No, he said, Eric, guess what, man? You know, S.A. Rios is the same age as you. Like, does that make you
You're
feel...
coming up with fun facts on thing, and then whenever we have a conversation, you don't give me no fun facts.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
This is a fun fact. This wasn't a fun fact. I was in the middle of watching Raw's retro, and S.A. Rios came on, and I was like, "Fuck!" And they were like, "He's a 19-year-old kid." And I was like, "Oh, how old would that make him today?" And then I was looking it up, and I was like, "That make him like 43." Then I looked it up to double check my math, and I was like, "What? He's 43? He's been around in my life since I was a child." He's only 43.
been as long as Randy's been there, man. They debuted at the same thing.
No, Randy didn't debut for another like 5-6 years. Randy was only 17 at the time of this, because Randy is the exact same as you.
Now, El Luchador, if you're still there, and I know you're one of those AEW, you enjoy AEW. Let me ask a question. Did you enjoy this episode of Rampage? Because I felt like a lot.
Oh, we're going to Rampage.
Yeah, we're going to Rampage first. Because I felt like a lot of nothing happened and stuff I just didn't care about. Like Darby versus the Butcher. I'm like, who cares about that match? Then you had...
What are you talking about?
Hold on.
In the best shape of his life.
Yeah, hold on. My boy looked good, man. I just want you to let you know out there and say the Butcher looked good in this match. He may be 90 years old, but he looked good in this match. But the one thing that stood out to me in this match of useless episode of Rampage, because when I saw the card, I was like, this show ain't gonna be shit. But one thing that stood out to me, I think this may be the first count-out loss I've ever seen in Dynamite, and I don't know why the ref was counting out the Butcher. He's never counted out Moxley or anybody, or Sting or anybody else that's been out that ring, or the Bucks. For this reason, the Butcher got the 10 count on the outside, couldn't beat the count. And I was like, what the hell?
Because he's 44 years old, he couldn't get into the ring like he used to. You know, it's a lot of work to get in that shape, dropping weight after being 40. But like,
and losing your band.
He lost his band?
Yeah, they broke up.
Damn. And then, like, I think afterwards for me, like, the whole Andrade, and like, I don't need this at all. I don't need any of this. It's like, I just don't need, like, I mean, I guess the her taking off her makeup, Statlander and stuff like that, and helping. And like, she looked exactly, and then she, you know, helped Red Velvet get a win over Layla Hurst. I'm like, I guess that's some storytelling, but really, after a while, I just checked out. And then, like, are you guys looking forward to next week? QT Marshall giving Hook a certificate? Like, no.
Yes. I love
okay.
I just want to hear the song, "The Chairman of the Board" from Action Bronson when Hook comes off to me.
So,
I can listen to it on my own time, but no, I want to hear it with Hook walking out.
So, man, you know what match made me completely check out though of Rampage, Manny and Marcus, is that when we had this unnecessary trios match.
Okay, formal.
It was an unnecessary trio where they had to get the House of Black, who's a trio, to fight somebody. So you get Bear Country, and for some reason, they're teaming up with Fuego del Sol. Last time I saw
bad show when he's on the show.
Yeah, it's like last time I saw him, he was getting an undeserved title match, and I was just like, "Why are they even a thing? What the hell is going on with this show?"
Well, Rampage was a shit show. This was like Sunday Night Heat when Sunday Night Heat stopped giving a damn. Like it was just like, oh,
we know
like
doing it.
Like, I don't know why we got the House of Black, and I agree with El Luchador. Why did they have so many matches on this show? And trying to fit this in an hour. It was just like, why are we doing this this week? No, you know what? I resent the comment. Disco Inferno made me laugh. Okay, he was actually entertaining for me for being Disco Inferno.
Disco Fever.
Because I felt like that's a good jobber.
Yeah. Disco Fever.
He fits in the realm of Alex Wright and Norman Smiley for me in jobbers.
Let me tell you,
That's what
Disco
fits.
Inferno is one of the few things that stands out in my memory from WCW.
That's right. That was a great name.
That's one of my favorites all time, just because of that dance.
I freak out.
Let me tell you, if Marcel ever broke that dance out, I'll be like, yes, do it. Because
I would love for a wrestler to break that out of nowhere for no reason.
Can I make a confession? Let me make a confession of how wrestling fan has been for a good portion of my life, Betty. I thought that's how all you Europeans dance, like Alex Wright. The whole, like, you know.
Yeah, that's sick. That's sick. That's disgusting.
Disappointed in you, Eric.
I was young, Betty. I was young, and I let wrestling influence my life, man. What can I say?
I was a child, Bishop. I was a child.
So once again, on Rampage, we end with a black main event, and then it becomes more black because now Swerve is now helping out Keith Lee when Keith Lee had an offer from the white man the week prior because they had a common enemy, but he said no because I had a
colonizers come over.
Yes, I was just
the white man offered the money. I had to take the money from the white man. But
this made me like big Keith Lee even less.
I like this whole segment. I was like, none of this needed to be together. And Swerve and Keith Lee teaming up or shaking hands. I'm just so sick of the run and save. Like, this happens so much on their programming. Like, it's just overkill. It's overkill that every segment after every match ends, someone's there to make a save or something. And no one's ever able to celebrate their victory or just have their arms raised up without the other persons who's made the same music play. Let's keep it simple.
I just feel like AEW.
Eric, when you hold your beard like that, you look like Mike Tenay when he was in Deep 4.
You know, I know. I just because I just feel like AEW has forgot who they were. Like, they have lost their identity. 70% of both of their shows were pretty much ex-WWE NXT people. And it was just like, it just made me sick.
That's not true. That math is not accurate at all.
I think it was, if you could go do the math, man.
I'm not correcting your math. It's because they're sports entertainers now.
Maybe we will get there when we get there. Because it's like, if they're not having the Xing, then WWE is living in their head rent free. Like that whole Jericho appreciation segment to me was them taking what Vince said in his interview and trying to make it be relevant to him. I could care less about anybody in that ring but Daniel Garcia. And then for me, when Daniel Garcia took the microphone, the worst thing I did, I actually paused the recording. I got up, I pushed my iPad over because I was like, Daniel Garcia? That's a star. But yet, I got Willa Yuta slapping Regal. I don't want Willa Yuta associated with Mox and Bryan Danielson. I don't need this in my life. I was upset.
Is that
I've been angry
is that the thing you hated about AEW all week?
No. I hate it so much more. I have so much more.
Oh my God. Hold on, Ed, let's digest, because we're looking for the thing you hated the most in AEW all week.
And we may have a bet going on.
Oh, do you guys want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It is the debut of the Hardys and how commentating handled the debut of the Hardys.
Yes.
Maddie, what did you pick for me?
The main event.
What was the main event?
Oh,
that's even worse. So you don't even remember it.
No. Well, because the match for me, unfortunately, I think that match came in unfair because everybody hyped it up the match. But I can tell you why I disliked the Hardys match so much.
Okay.
The one thing I have done with AEW, and I think I've been extremely consistent with this, is criticizing AEW for how they introduce their performers into their company. Like, we have you all right? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
That's what losing. He's choking on his own losing that I picked the Hardys.
You have Keith Lee shows up. We don't learn anything. You have this person show up. But I swear to God, in the Hardys match, the one team that doesn't need an explanation of who they are or what they're about, that entire match, I had to get the complete history of the Hardy brothers. And I'm just like, okay, I'm glad you're doing this, but why didn't you do it for Brody Lee? What, no, not Brody, the guy that's with
Brody King.
Brody King. Like, why did I get his backstory? Like, I'm getting the Hardy's backstory. And I'm just like, and then it felt like a nostalgia act. And I was like, no, it's like,
you have way too much hate on this.
No, but then also it confirms what Triple H said to Matt Hardy. Your gimmick didn't work. Your delete gimmick was a flash in the pan because he tried to take that shit to AEW and they put him back where the place he needs to be, teaming with Jeff Hardy.
To be fair, he had no audience for that to work. That may have come. Them AEW fans may have made that work a little bit more longer before they eventually got tired of it.
And you know, Levi, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of problems with WWE too. His equal to his outdated Raw and SmackDown. The Seth Rollins it is kind of stupid that Seth Rollins, arguably one of the best performers in there, is trying to find his spot on WrestleMania.
Yeah, but if you're not shoehorned onto the main event now, you can't just 3 weeks to go, oh, I want to be in the main event. So at some point, you're just going to go, I need to get on the card.
It's kind of like, it's like, to me, his storyline is the equivalent of a team that's trying to make the playoffs in any sport. That's what he's trying to do. Like, it looks bad if my franchise don't make the playoffs and I'm in the lottery. That's what it seems like Seth is at right now. And he's desperate to try to get into the playoffs. He reminds me of a certain Los Angeles team.
Oh, okay. No, because it literally with with Dynamite, it started off with that trios match. You had Adam Cole and Red Dragon. I'm like, oh, Undisputed Era again. Oh, great. They're fighting the champion Jurassic Express. I thought we were done with Adam Page and Adam Cole. I thought he was moving on to greenest pastures. Then from there, we go on a little bit more. You get some Keith Lee and Ricky Starks, and they're backstage. It's like, okay, this is still we're still doing what NXT people. Okay, let's keep it going. Then guess what? Next match, Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley against the Best Friends. I don't care. William Regal was amazing on commentating, but I still like, come on, man, can we do something different? Then you're still waiting. You're waiting. Like, when do you get something? When you get something, then you get. Right after that, Jericho and his Appreciation Society. And that's when I just...
Hold on. All AEW originals, Eric. All AEW originals, what you said was not on this show.
Yeah,
but Jake Hager.
But at the same time, remember I said 70% was not 30%. So this is the one part they got. But at the same time, they still talking about WWE and taking shots for no reason. Yeah. But the crowd... Well, I guess it is a reason because
that
the crowd...
a real shot, though.
No, the crowd really ate it up. It seemed like it was kind of like the same equivalent to what Bryan Danielson said he main evented WrestleMania and he became a heel. So I guess calling yourself a sports entertainer, and I thought the way that Daniel Garcia delivered it was hilarious. I'm just sick of Jericho. I really am. I don't want him anymore.
I kind of enjoyed the segment.
Good for you, Manny.
I didn't. Don't say it like that, Eric. No, I kind of enjoyed it because I don't know why Marcus told me, and then Marcus even said on Thursday, just enjoy the segment.
But Mark, you enjoyed it also.
Huh? No, for me, it was I wasn't blown away by it, but it was fine. It was solid. I was happy they gave an explanation of why they called it the Jericho Appreciation stuff.
They all owe him debts, which is okay. I get that.
He saved lives apparently on his way up. But because Danny Garcia was like homeless or something like that. I don't remember his story, but it was all that. And so at least it gave me a meaning of why they are all together. But I am fatigued in AEW with all the factions and people teaming up.
Levi,
I was not coming up in the middle of my
Marcus.
statement.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus, show a little discipline. I have like 2 more words to say.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's over.
Levi, I don't normally do this, but I'm willing to make a bet that if Cody does debut in WWE, there will be no mentions of AEW. I don't think WWE doesn't play that game. They don't acknowledge their support the companies that they feel is underneath them.
Subordinates.
Well, no, they one of their wrestlers on their show who was scripted to say on WWE, number one never talk. Oh, it was Charlotte. Number one never talks about number two. That is a simple rule.
It's first rule.
But you know, I don't have I don't think this was a shot at WWE. I feel like whatever. It was something Jericho's trying to do. And again, Ciampa did this already when he was feuding with Johnny Wrestler and saying, "Oh, you can be Johnny Wrestler. I'll be Tommy in the Sports Entertainer," and was going around calling himself the Sports Entertainer. Then he got hurt.
I was interested in Scorpio Sky versus Wardlow, but of course it ended in AEW fashion with a bunch of nonsense going on. And I guess Scorpio Sky did retain his championship, but I don't know how long for the world he is with that title belt because, you know, most people can't hold it more than 2 months.
I've already had enough of Scorpio Sky for his.
Wow, you turned on him already.
Wow.
Hold on. Hear me out. What I'm about to say. This is what I'm turning on it for. For his promo on the back of Rampage, I thought it was trash. Dan Lambert wearing that second, Dan Lambert's second TNT, that's still carrying that second TNT title on him. And it seemed like that whole interview was to get Paige Van Sant over more than anybody.
Although I hope she recovers from an STD, man. I really feel bad about that.
She got an STD?
You don't remember the promo, Marcus? He said that we signed the contract, Tay Conti's ass, and although we're signed, we got an STD because of it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I do remember now.
Levi, you can't even call them shots when they actually just used, they're teasing Cody Rhodes and saying dashing, and then Seth's WrestleMania dreams have turned into a nightmare. That's hardly taking shots at AEW. That's making reference to someone that may be coming in.
And then Dash is Cody's WWE thing.
Which is still, I think, my favorite iteration of Cody. I love me some Dash and Cody Rhodes when he was a tour person.
Through the smoke and mirrors.
Well, my favorite version of Cody Rhodes is him with the grotesque and him putting the paper bags on people.
Yeah.
And then cutting the head off the Viper. All the venom goes with it. And then he goes into maniacal laugh.
Stardust was pretty damn good, too. I mean, Cody, for what he did, he had a solid run at WWE. It's just that they didn't see him as a main event star. And clearly AEW didn't either. I mean,
they said, "You're Jeff Jarrett." And then he went to AEW and started his own promotion and confirmed, "You're Jeff Jarrett." And then everybody hated him. And I believe if Cody, when he returns to WWE, which is the inevitable, he will be main event for a little bit, but probably not for long. I don't think Vince. I still don't think Vince sees anything in him. He's gonna say, it's just mid-card Cody. Oh no, he gets to keep the Go Big Show.
That's good.
Which is funny. Yeah, but he gets to keep it. According to the contract, he gets to keep all his TNT shows.
I'm just
curious. That technically works for WWE as well because that's outside
promotion.
Promotion.
But my question is that
Rose to the Top is going to be really interesting, and I think people got to watch now.
Do you think if Cody did re-sign with WWE, do you think he re-signed with Brandy? Do you think Brandy got a job too? Do you think he came as a package deal?
I don't think so. What can Brandy really do in WWE?
Well, she hated
for the most part. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, she could be a valet. I think that's perfectly fine. I mean,
continue.
I don't know if anybody really wants her in the ring personally, but I know she keeps posting videos of her wrestling. But I mean, I don't think she wants to come back as Eden Styles and being a ring announcer.
I never want to see her wrestle. She doesn't need to be a ring announcer. She doesn't need to have any backstage clout or presence. But when Cody was doing his original independent run before the AEW run, she did some really good work on the outside of the ring, interfering and stuff. She was a good manager. She did solid work there. But when she was doing it in AEW, it was just like, she got so much mic time and she's horrible at it. And she's trying to wrestle and that was bad. And she was calling herself the chief brand officer, which didn't mean anything. It was a lot of bad Brandy stuff, and I do feel WWE can limit that. But I still feel like you're getting the same Cody Rhodes. I just think that Cody now has limits to what he can do because Vince is going to be like, nah, We're not doing that.
I think Levi is right. Brandy could be a good Charmel style character. I don't know why Charmel's in the Hall of Fame, but whatever. That's apples
Because
and oranges
all
right there.
hail King Booker!
Because the WWE Hall of Fame has a lack of black women, Eric.
Why did Brandy hate? Already
only...
she's better than any commentator beside Kayla. I mean, but I don't think she wants to be a backstage correspondent.
She wasn't better than Chuck.
She wasn't better than Chuck because
no,
Chuck was so good she got hired by
Or
Espen.
Mackenzie Mitchell.
Mackenzie. But the main event for Dynamite, I mean, it was okay. I just thought that it had very bad pacing. I thought it was a good atmosphere. I thought the crowd was 100% behind Thunder Rosa. I mean, her being the hometown girl. I thought it was a good feel-good moment for her. I just thought that they don't know how to sell. I mean, we took all that time for Britt Baker to set up all those chairs, for her to be slammed on those chairs, to be walking around again. I'm like, you spent more time setting up those chairs than you did selling the effect of those chairs. And then we get to the thumbtack spot. I'm like, I guess. But, I mean, I think people enjoyed it. And at the end of the day, if you enjoyed what you watch, great. If you didn't, you know what? Watch something else.
Well, but you know, the issue I have with this match is the stuff they've done has been overdone. Like on Rampage, didn't we just have Penelope Ford try to kill, I think, Allie in a match?
Ford ain't been on TV in God knows how long.
Yeah, for what reason now?
Yeah, and then her fiance Kip is standing at ringside with a box on his head. I don't understand what they're doing with these people anymore.
It's been going on. Yeah, I'm so lost on half of the stuff. And then I feel like the thumbtacks spots and stuff like that, it's so overdone in the company that it's not shocking or anything. And the part that really hurt me with the thumbtacks ending or whatever is that when they're doing pinfalls and Aubrey Edwards is diving into thumbtacks, counting and stuff, and I'm going like, this is supposed to be dangerous, but the referee is taking the same bump.
You know what? This made evident because
I don't know if he's serious, but he's right. She ain't.
So where he says, "I didn't like the main event. Britt needs more seasoning in the ring." It made more evidence of how much she has been helped out by all this nonsense outside interference. Put her in a regular match, she stood out as not being the complete wrestler.
Yeah, she's not.
And again, there's so many holes in her actual game at the moment.
But isn't it the same problem with Jade too? Because Jade can't do it either.
Yeah, but Jade's not got interference. But like Jade's shining through as she's green. But like Jade's been at it for what? How long? A year?
Yeah, but either one. AEW does probably have a better champion in Thunder Rosa in Ring Rise. Maybe we'll see where they go with the feuds because I don't know where she goes. Maybe Ruby Soho comes out of retirement or Dark comes out the Dark and fights or something. I don't know what happened to her. So like the only wrestlers on their female roster that I'm intrigued by is, again, Sheeta and Serena Deeb. Keep that shit going. It's like a fire that's getting ready to go out at a campsite. Just give me another log and throw some more in there.
But to give AEW credit, they are trying to do something with their women's division because they are trying to give us a storyline with Layla Hirsch and Statlander. I mean, I'm somewhat intrigued, but I mean, like you give me a vignette of Statlander removing all of her makeup and whatnot. I'm like, okay.
She's back in makeup. I didn't see anything different.
She's not an alien anymore.
She's not an alien anymore, Marcus. Yeah, she's not booping nobody.
Yeah, but I didn't see the difference between this
Marcus, come on, man,
and the previous Statlander that they've been showing on TV.
I think for me personally, I like Statlander. I just didn't really care for the alien gimmick. I'm very interested to see where she goes. And I also like legit Layla Hirsch. I think she's an interesting anomaly that they have in AEW. I mean, you just wonder going forward, is it going to be more women featured? Because, you know, you still have to find somebody to feed to Jade so Jade can be dominant as a champion. And then on top of that, will Thunder Rosa now be the fighting champion? And then where does Britt Baker go from here? These are very good questions that they need to answer. I just don't know if AEW has the consistency with their storytelling to make it make any sense. Levi agrees with you, Marcus, that Sexy D needs more screen time. She should join the Regal faction.
She should. She should. And I want to see Regal slap the shit out of her.
I do. It needs to happen. It needs to happen.
No, that'd be too intense. Going, oh, Regal, I think you're going too far with slapping people. But she would fit perfectly with them.
Wes said WWE needs more black women wrestlers and talent. Brandy was the face of AEW while a division for a little while, and she's already better than Nikki, Aaliyah, and Shotzi. I don't think she's better than Shotzi.
Nah,
I don't think she's better than Nikki either.
No,
Nikki's underrated. And...
Aaliyah,
yeah. I'm better than Aaliyah, but Aaliyah looks better in her outfits than I do.
You would wear Aaliyah's outfits.
No, but
you're already on the show naked.
You couldn't wear Aaliyah's outfit as a wristband because that's the size of the coverage.
I know.
So last week, but should there be consequences to injuring others like Ridge? I don't think Ridge got to go. Accidents happen. This is what happens when you're in the...
That was just two meaty men trying to do. Like, it wasn't like he lost control. It wasn't like what happened a while back between Nia Jax and Charlotte, where they literally start fighting each other. Like, if you it was a bad suplex.
It didn't work, It's not like Ridge wanted to injure Big E or they have some type of beef. I understand something like that was going on, but I don't think there should be any consequences for it. It sucks. Accidents happen. That'd be like saying, let's discipline Owen Hart for breaking Steve Austin's neck.
Yeah. Thing is, accidents happen. You can't just... If you went out there intentionally to hurt someone, sure, you should be fired. But if it happened in a sequence of events where accidents happen, you can't do it, because then you'd have to cancel Sasha Banks for ending Paige's career.
Yep. And see, the thing about it though, and I think, and I said this last week, this is where I'm very concerned about Ridge going forward, because the thing is, you don't want to have him have any more post-traumatic stress about injuring somebody, because it's a real thing, because you want to be labeled as a safe worker. For example, the reason why the Ryback doesn't have a job is because people say he's not safe. I mean, like, quite frankly, no one feels like you can trust your body in the hands of that performer. And I think Ridge did everything that he could. It just maybe the hips didn't get popped enough, or it was just too much man trying to get over at the wrong time. Who knows what could have happened? And Wes, you're right. That spot was unnecessary.
But hold on. We can't say spots are unnecessary when we having a million AEW spots that happen where you go like, that's a little unnecessary for TV. Darby Allin, why are you throwing yourself downstairs right now for TV? And all the spots that a lot of people take where you go, that's a little unnecessary. So I have no problem with that spot. It just didn't go right. It just didn't go right. And I understand everybody has a way to feel about the spot, but sometimes shit happens.
And Shotzi Star Quality, I just forgot about. No, her father just passed away, and I think they're giving her some time.
Yeah. That's what happened. She just took. She her father passed in the middle of the. I think she had two passings, right? Yeah. I think her dad. I think she had two dads or something.
Her dad and stepdad both passed.
And it always looks kind of weird, because then she posts pictures. I'll be like, oh, okay. But you're going through all this, but you posted that picture, but
you don't know how people handle.
I know, but I'm like, I want to feel sorry for you, but them cakes is right there. It's like, what you doing?
You can still feel sorry for them, Eric. Have sympathy just because she's out and about.
Levi, I think Marcus' argument is that it's not that Darby's picking up people, it's just that Darby is taking so many unnecessary risks by going neck first into people, jumping off of things. Like he's not the biggest man, so he won't always be young. It's a possibility that he just will be hurt.
Right. But then here's a spot that's unnecessary. If they want Eddie, shoot, I don't know. I was gonna say it there. Eddie Keeks to be a powerbomb on the outside of that table, injuring himself basically. Or I don't think he may have been safe, but the move looked dangerous when he landed on the back of his neck on the outside. That's also an unnecessary spot.
When Keith Lee froze Orange Cassidy, throws him to the outside, overshots the throw, and then Orange Cassidy dislocates his shoulder. Should he be fired at that point?
Or the fact that when you have a match in the main event in San Antonio where you stack a bunch of chairs for a move that seems like it's very risky to do, and what is the reward? I don't know if that spot for a television match is worth it. It just wasn't worth it for me. personally.
Oh, Eric, I have a question. In
Go
that
ahead.
main event spot at the cage match with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, best interest of 2022, right?
No.
Thunder Rosa with the
Thank
all-female
you.
mariachi.
Thank you.
Marcus,
Come on, that's the best entrance someone has had.
Marcus, when
in
you told
2022.
me about me being a deciding vote and you hyped up this interest with the
I didn't hype it
all-female-
up. I just said it's the best interest of 2022.
with the all-female mariachi and stuff like that, I was like, oh, okay. Mark, she didn't even have pyro.
I feel like she had pyro.
She didn't have pyro, Marcus.
Damn
Mark,
it.
it was like it was 5 women playing Mark. I mean, it was great for the moment, but it was nothing that I was like, damn, this 2022
It's
is
no
really
other
good.
intro that big. I'm just saying. That was a pretty good intro. I'm just
Sasha
saying.
Banks has had some really good entrances.
She ain't did shit all year.
Naomi,
comes out
Marcus,
with
I hate to let you know,
stuff.
Marcus, Naomi Feel the Glow might be more hyped up than that one.
I'm
Well,
sure
we've
there was
seen it.
entrances on Elimination Chamber that were way better than this. With that
That's-
Saudi pyro. With that Saudi pyro.
Oh, Saudi pyro.
no,
You get no
they-
pyro second to none in that one.
Okay, so maybe I don't think that was this year, but Randy Orton and Riddle coming out with the camo
That was
would
last
count.
year.
Yeah. So this year, nothing.
No, but see, Levi, the thing about AEW, I don't know if there's a such thing as heat in AEW.
There is.
There is. Joey Janela had
Joey
heat.
Janela had heat. for
Well,
injuring-
he announced
injuring
this week that he
Eddie
was
Kingston.
not re-signing with AEW because he wants to be an independent employee.
No, it's
Translation,
not that. And then
they don't want
said,
me.
The way they said it was AEW just ghost you and they don't want you anymore.
Yeah, and I
and
feel
it's
so
not about it.
unprofessional and shitty.
Can I be honest? That sounds like a cokehead. Like, oh, I don't need you anymore. Bye.
No, well, it seems like it's a little immature,
Yeah,
unprofessional.
just fire him.
I don't like Chavo Guerrero did not know he was released until he realized someone told him he was not on the AEW roster page anymore. Like, I'm like, what the fuck?
So now
Be a man and fire the people to their face.
no, as Wes pointed out, like
Well,
the
WWE don't even do
Danhausen
that.
and Sting interaction, like for me, I got a full-fledged explanation of who the Hardys are, but no one can explain to me what the hell Danhausen is doing. And he's been there for God knows how long. And I'm like, please explain this to me.
No.
I
They
guess-
will not.
Bart, do you have any more questions or should I just go to the email?
NXT 2.0 is still the best show in the world. Fuck 'em.
Oh, yeah, for me. It is the show for me. Although I got no Andre Chase this week. I was a little disappointed.
Can't be there every week, but Chase U's crowd is always noticeable.
But you know what? Mello and Trick could. Them on commentary. Manny, I heard you were distracted by Mello and Trick.
Because it was
on
so good. It was so good, and then the match going on was so good at the same time, Eric. It's like, how do you concentrate?
You were Taurus, like, do I listen to these two fools talk about absolutely nothing as Carmelo just digs himself a bigger grave by putting more and more people in matches against himself. And then
man. He never missed.
But as I told Marcus, the thing that got me, that really hurt me a lot was like, I was torn between Santos and Cameron Grimes. I'm happy Santos won, but I will point out that backstage, that interview with Grimes did so much more of making me feel sorry for him. Like when he said, I promised my dad I was going to do something and he ain't been nothing but a failure. And I was like, oh shit, is he turning? What is going on with Grimes? And then of course we had the Ciampa moment. Shit, I thought he was going to the main roster to be released. I didn't know what was going on. Now we got Tony D, who was going to show him Manny, I need to ask you. He was respectful and disrespectful. I thought Tony D handled it very well. He let him know I wasn't going to hit you with a crowbar, but I still kicked you in the nuts. I appreciate that type of
very
tactic.
Jericho Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 19 at the end of their really classic match. They're going to shake hands and went for the hug, and then Jericho kicked him in the nuts.
Walk around with you. I'm done with you.
As Levi says, NXT 2.0 is NWA Hollywood bad. If you a known Easter egg of this show, Marcus and I were huge fans of NWA Hollywood. We like bad shit like that. And Lash Legend versus the Keita Lions, ain't nobody ready for that. That is the two giants. F almost versus
You know that match is gonna be trash.
That match is gonna be the worst thing I've ever seen.
And I'm gonna watch it slow motion.
Hold on. I, for the record, respected the Omos and Aziz match overall for it being short and sweet and just done.
I didn't need that. But that suplex was incredible.
Can I say
amazing?
I'm proud of both of you guys because for whatever reason, I felt that you guys would have been in the same camp as some of the people I saw a lot of talk about. Vince, you're a fool. You're wasting almost an Aziz. This should be on WrestleMania. I'm like, no, this shouldn't even be on TV.
About WrestleMania?
I don't know. Lash Legend versus the Key Alliance should be at WrestleMania though. And we need to bring back the mud bath match. A mud bath match. Bring it back. But since they won't bring that back, you can also relive that in Raw's Retro because I know they're gonna have a mud bath match on one of these.
That's right. We're about 2 years out. They're currently about to go to their first bra and panties match or evening gown match.
Got that right. Do that yet. So let me read our email. We got it from Mr. Lumberchat himself. It's from El Luchador. He says, been gone for the last few months dealing with some heavy depression and just had to disconnect from the world for a while. However, that's another story for another time. I'm writing to you about Cody Rhodes and how I believe he compares to Triple H. Triple H, before he was the game, was a drifting mid-carder with some success, but then eventually feeling he was going nowhere. Triple H eventually hitched his cart to Shawn Michaels and the Clique, and from then on, his career took off. Now Cody Rhodes, much the same to Triple H, felt like he was going nowhere until he hitched his wagon to the Bullet Club train. And from then on, his career took off. Now, do you believe the return of Cody will lead to world champion success, or will he punish for helping start AEW and for all the shots he took at Triple H? Also, Levi, I want my bag, hair, you owe me.
A bag
P.S.
of hair.
it wasn't in there. I read it how I saw it, Manny. I'm sorry. Remember, I have not been ad-libbing because I can't see as well as I used to. P.S. Just a little side message to Levi and his hate for WWE. I used to feel like you do about WWE until I took Eric's advice and just stopped watching because I realized it's not for me. I still enjoy listening to the Sharpshooters despite not watching WWE, and maybe that's what you need. Please don't take this as a shot at you or anything, Levi. I truly come in good faith. Anyway, stay sharp. El Luchador, formerly known as Dash and John Pena, sent from his iPhone. Thank you for the email.
Is Dash and John Pena back because John Cena's back? That's why he got the Dashing back in the thing.
You know what? El Luchador, I know what it feels like to battle through depression, man. I'm glad that you still keep kicking strong. So remember, if you ever need to talk to somebody, I think we all are willing to listen. And you just hit us up. Not like Sammy Guevara says, hit me up. I mean, generally, I know what it feels like. Sometimes you just need to have somebody to reach out to. As for Cody, I don't think he was taking shots at Triple H because everyone knows that Cody Rhodes looks up to Triple H. That's who he idolized. That's who he wanted to be.
Shots. The Golden Shovel. The Golden Shovel at the Sledgehammer spot. That was his last match in AEW, I believe. When he first started AEW, Double or Nothing, you were there when he destroyed Triple H's throne.
I was, man. I felt good for Cody, man, because Marcus, I ride with Cody.
Cody's been your boy from day one, but then there's days where you turn on him because you go like, I don't know what Cody's doing.
You know why, Marcus? Brandy make me mad. Brandy make me mad, but they gotta do it for liberty.
At the start of AEW, Cody was tolerable. But as shit went on, and it was just like the Codyverse or whatever was going on in Cody's life that made him do random shit, like clearing racism, getting stupid neck tattoos.
He did that before he was in AEW, didn't he?
No, the neck tattoo was in the middle of it.
Neck tattoo was AEW.
Oh my god.
Going over the top with his entrance and breaking kayfabe a lot and just doing a lot of nonsense in AEW. I think that he was doing that he had no self-control over.
I think the biggest thing that Cody did that was really stupid, and I think what ruined him in the eyes of AEW fans and fans over is when he cut his racism promo. I think that was it, where he was like, all right, Cody, we don't need you talking about this because you buried a black woman and you had a biracial child. You do not have all the answers. And that's what it kind of felt like at that moment.
Well, here's the thing that really hurt Cody in AEW, and it goes all the way back to the beginning. All the way back when he decided he's not going to challenge for the world title and he had nothing to do. And he was probably, at the time, the most over babyface within the company. And so he was just lingering around trying to find himself to do. And then all the other EVPs start giving themselves titles. And he was there with the TNT title. And he kept winning that. And you wanted to see other people win it. And, you know, and then you have the Brandy factor of everything. And how you felt like the only reason she's where she's at is because of the Cody relationship. And you have all these factors going in. That's why the hatred toward Cody came up. And
literally he went to AEW. Also, he made himself Triple H.
That's turns out to Jeff Jarrett, Triple H, and all these other things, and you know, and that's what happens when you give somebody unlimited power.
But you know what? The thing about the whole thing with Cody, it makes me a little bit concerned about AEW going forward because I want to know what do you do with Kenny Omega when he comes back? Because I don't know how you reintegrate him into the system because, you know. I thought a lot of Omega's flaws came out when, you know, he's not a talker. Like, is he going to feud with Adam Page or Adam Cole? What is going to happen going forward? And if he does go the route of Cole, then who will become the challenger for Page? It's, you know, so I don't know exactly how they're going to integrate him back into the AEW fold because once again, they have the rankings, but the rankings mean absolutely nothing in AEW. It's so confusing.
Do you know who the #1 tag team is in the rankings is?
It might be
they said on Rampage this week.
Might be the Acclaim.
No. It is Alex Reynolds and Johnny Hungy.
Huh? When did they win?
That's what I'm saying.
Even your kids had issues with that.
Yeah, I know. I heard them through the earphones. What? So that's where we're at with the AEW and their rankings.
Are they #1 just for the simple reason that it's some way to pad the stats of Jurassic Express, like to give them more wins?
Yeah, it has to be. That's why AEW Dark and Elevation occur because no one's really watching them the way you can pad stats.
But you know, I hate to turn this into the Cody podcast, but you know, I mean.
Because we can break this shit off. Because if we could do a 15-minute show just talking about Cody, I bet you it will get more views than this show.
Well, you can edit it.
Yeah. It'll take 2 minutes. But let me. I edit out the Cody. I edit Cody discussion. Cody Gate. If Cody comes back, I believe he's going to be treated well. By the WWE as a political move. To lure some of the people they may want in AEW to come over. Like your Wardlows, your MJFs, you know, people like that.
They take Britt and Adam Cole back?
No. I don't, Mark, looking at the roster that AEW has, and then looking at what they have in 2.0, I don't think there's many people in AEW that they want to take to WWE. I mean,
they've really got their next batch coming through.
Yeah, they have their selections. I believe they make. If you had the chance to like say, "Hey,
the new batch looks like eye candy." I'm sorry, I was like, "Oh."
There's one kid in it that looks like young Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And then
Randy Orton 2.0.
My favorite comment from the Big Car Bands, I just can't wait for all the guys in the Big Car Bands to go crazy over this redhead. I was like, they are. We know who we are. Gigi created a type. And that's what we go for. Damn, Gigi, why are you getting that trash can, girl? Why?
She didn't have to get in the trash can. Stupid.
Get a stick. Get a stick.
And then at least stupid. Idris and whoever would have helped her grab that title. I would have grabbed that later. For once, I would call her the stupidest member of the group, as JCJ had no clue how to figure out what kind of trap it was. He was like, "Oh, it's a door.
It's a booby trap." But back to Cody though. Cody is I like Cody, but I don't think Cody should ever be the world champion. But I think he could be a hell of an intercontinental champion.
No, you trying to tell me on Raw right now where they lack a babyface, which Cody is probably going to be to come out the gate because he's going to get cheered by the WWE fan base because the WWE fan base are ride or die WWE and will cheer them because he's not in AEW.
I don't know. The fact that he's coming in, if he comes in as a face, he will still feel. For me, he'll feel out of place.
And I feel like
It's not even like he would have that like AEW stink on him. It's just that I feel like he belongs in AEW.
Yeah, you don't even know if he gets a reaction from the WWE audience. Like that's the whole thing about it.
No, he will.
Showing up. No, he will. He will.
He will. He's a road. Of course he'll get.
I mean, I
Cody
gotta
was
have
liked by the WWE universe and all iterations of Cody. To be honest,
can I ask a question? What if the first time he shows up on WWE television is presenting the Dusty Cup Championship to the women's team?
Would that be next week?
Yeah, I'd be like, just saying.
That would be nice. You know,
like
couldn't close the deal for the first one.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, I would love to see Wendy Chu and Dakota Kai gets the Women's Cup Championship.
All I'm saying, they're gonna try to lure use Cody to lure these AEW people in.
Like, I can see
the
Wardlow's
Hobbs. They may try to get Hobbs.
I'd bring in Hobbs immediately.
Ricky Starks has a personality that they would like.
Can I tell you? I would love to bring in Ricky Starks and Hobbs as a tag team because I really like Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks seems like he's going to be stuck on NXT 2.0.
Yeah, but that's not a bad thing because like Ricky Starks is very similar to
you never leave
to LA Knight. Because LA Knight is amazing in with Raw, but at the same time, LA Knight can work on the main roster too because he handled himself like The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, and Rude. Like I was like, oh, just call this guy up. He don't need to be here.
Goldust back. I would honestly say Goldust is also someone you were trying to lure back.
No, I think he's like a backstage agent a lot. Like
but
I mean, he can help. He can help WWE in the development. I think he'll be a good person in development. But
let me get Dustin back. Get that Goldust. Come back and do all that stuff. And go
I know you say Cody should have nothing to do with NXT, but every time AEW takes somebody from NXT, they throw him on Dynamite. So let's just do it.
Or Rampage. They put him on Rampage.
Or Rampage.
Tony Nese, Keith Lee, Swerve.
But do you still like Swerve?
Huh? He's all right. You know.
I don't. No, Marcus. I want to point out that was not the Swerve energy that you brought for us for 2 years on NXT.
I still think he's a good. The Swerve energy is that you guys argue that he's not a good wrestler. I go, no, he's a really good wrestler. And
my argument is he's a bad character. He's not. He's a good wrestler. He's just got a bad character.
Yeah, he's not really doing much, but he hasn't been on AEW
I think
for a minute, and he's not doing anything.
Marcus likes Swerve Scott, but he doesn't like Swerve Strickland. I see what it is, Marcus. I
like Swerve. It's the same character, but it's nothing going on. There's nothing going on.
I mean, since we are,
we had that argument once he danced chucking and jiving in NXT. We had that story, that ongoing argument. We was like, no, he wasn't, but he hasn't really done anything yet, or I don't honestly see a foreseeable future for him or even Keith Lee in this company. As in that whole end of Rampage, I don't think we're gonna ever see any of those people in the title picture.
Now, did you guys
TNT title? Maybe.
Did you guys like how the whole Wardlow situation played out in the TNT Championship match?
It was exactly the way it should have been, although I was wrong. I said that he's going to squash Scorpio's guy and become the TNT champion, but that didn't happen. But the logic prevails every day. If you're going to go feud him and MJF, this was the only thing to do.
But where do you go with Scorpio Sky now? Because I think you already said
that it's the TNT title.
He's not
everybody gets a title shot. Everybody gets a title shot now. It's a TNT title. Everybody gets a title shot.
Indeed. Well, any more questions, or is this the conclusion of the show?
I don't think Swerve's entrance themes is fire.
Quite frankly, I don't remember it. To be completely honest,
I beat him up so many times on NXT 2.0.
Betty,
on NXT,
first of all, Betty,
on my rides.
I saw the smile in your eyes of beating up Swerve Sky 2.0. Your eyes.
I did. I really enjoyed it.
So, okay, I mean, I guess because so would you say that 2K finally got it right, or got it right enough for WWE 2K22?
It's a bounce back.
It's good. And then they did some news came out about the AEW game, and they're holding back on the old No Mercy kind of deal. where they want it to be more like that.
So were you like, because I think when it comes to pinnacle of wrestling games, I think it's two camps. You have the No Mercy. Actually, it's three. You have the No Mercy, you have the Fire Pro style, and then you have the Here Comes the Pain SmackDown style game that was like on PlayStation. Bring the Pain, which for me, that's the style that I am. I like that chaotic style like that. Manny, what type of wrestling game are you?
Sorry, I mean a brown.
Marcus, what type of wrestling game are you? Why Manny digests his brownie?
I thought Bring the Pain was the best wrestling game that was ever made, but I'm also a fan of the WCW/NWO Revenge games from the N64 days, basically.
Can I ask a question, Marcus? Do you think that your enjoyment of Bring the Pain is mainly because of how we grew up playing Bring the Pain? Because that is where ripping
That's what he was known on as. That was his Indies name.
Marcus, that
wasn't PG.
Marcus, that's when Rippin' Raimundo was 19 years old. Now he's like a 40-year-old man someplace. But Marcus,
he's about 50 in my 2K series.
Do you feel like, because we had such epic matches in that game, like I remember some of the things that we used to do was insane. And I mean, No Mercy was fun, but that was more so for the N64. I don't know if it was as open as the Bring the Pain game was.
Well, you have more weapons. It's just whatever the age was. Games had evolved past then, and I always have the starter for N64, but I was too good at that game. I'm not lying. This is not lying. This is just I was too good at that game. Like I would say we were too good at that game because I played other people at school or whenever I went to some random person's house and played it. I was like, oh, this isn't even. I can block every move. Like I don't want that style again because I was able to block everything and time everything right. It was disgusting.
So Manny, do you see why? Do you see why it was hard playing video games with Marcus? You see how
this was not arrogant,
unapologetic he is when he's good at something. Like
a wise man, it's not arrogance if it's fact. I'm not lying. Right now, I suck.
Marcus, if you're going to use that phrase, just go. I'm not arrogant. I'm just better.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. But no, it was I was ridiculous in those games. Everything was muscle memory.
Manny, now you had time to digest your brownie.
Before I do, J.K. Smith says, "Fuck Hulk Hogan." I don't even know what primordial Sith. What the fuck?
No, but yeah, fuck him.
Hey, speedy recovery, because that sounds like something that you need to recover from.
I was never an N64 gamer. I was always PlayStation up until PlayStation 2. Then I became Xbox.
I'm not fucking surprised. Yes, I'm salty that you ain't got no Switch, Manny. I'm salty. I'm salty. Clearly, you hate Nintendo. Clearly, it's clearly you have a Nintendo bias.
Well, because what? Because I've got an Asian bias. Because I'm not from Japan, I suddenly almost instantly hate.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying
all Asians hate each other. I'm just putting it out there.
Oh, they do. and when you
learn over time, everybody hate everybody.
And then when you talk to Asians individually with other Asians, they will be more than willing to rank how they think the Asian the list goes. And I'm like, shit, really?
Yeah.
If from my theories that I've learned that Japanese and Chinese people feel like they're 1 and 2, depending on who you talk to. Number 3 are Koreans moving in there, and then it's like everybody else is like it fills in. Manny, I don't want to tell you where I found out where most of the other races ranks the poor Filipino people at. Like, it's sad sometimes.
Well, Wes, I think it was Wes. I think Wes nearly got a timeout for suggesting that Brandy was better than Shotzi Blackheart. I'm just saying. But the best wrestling game for me was the first iteration of when they added GM mode into one of the SmackDown games. That was probably one of the. I think it was Raw versus SmackDown. But then the PSP variant of that game where you could actually play Texas Hold'em. with Stone Cold Steve Austin and various other wrestlers.
Can we also give a shout out to the PSP, one of the best handheld consoles that
so underrated.
That no one like that. I broke out my PSP maybe like sometime last year. I still got it. That screen is still gorgeous. It is amazing what they did back in the day. And
Luminous couldn't get no games.
And Luminous on that, although you have no save points, might be one of the most fun and addicting games you could ever play.
But no, that was a beautiful console with nice graphics and a great idea. Everything worked well, but they couldn't get no games for that shit. They never had it. They never had that hit. They never got that hit, and that's why
Midnight Club was amazing on that.
And that's why the Nintendo DS killed that shit. Yeah, that was fine.
That's why the Vita died again.
It was like Midnight Club, Luminous. There was something else. Oh, like I enjoyed the Metal Gear, like the card game one. There was a few things,
I thought I had NCAA for that as well.
They had no hits though.
You know,
like they had fun games, but no hits. So it was like the Dreamcast.
I still have my PSP right there behind me in that closet. I can go out there and pull it out, and it will still turn on.
Please don't whip it out right now, Eric. We need to end this YouTube. But PSP. Can I say the PSP and the Dreamcast are the consoles that deserve the most credibility in the world because those were great consoles that just fell on the wayside.
Let me tell you, the Dreamcast is what revolutionized. I didn't even get the word out right, but it is what changed sports games forever. When the Dreamcast came out, I think that when they started creating the 2K series and stuff like that, then the VMU where you can actually call your plays on the little VM SKU, so your person that you were playing in the same room didn't know what plays you were calling. Man, it was so much fun. Man, did you ever own any Nintendo system?
The NES.
Damn. Yep. There it is.
You hate Mario, man. That's like hating Mickey Mouse. How dare you?
Fuck Mickey Mouse, man.
I had a DS and a 3DS.
Best game of DS.
Don't say it.
Elite Beat Agents.
No. I know all of Avril Lavigne, so Elite Beat Agents is the greatest Nintendo DS game of all time. And
Fire Emblem.
Forget that.
Have you ever played Elite Beat Agent?
No.
When you're singing these teen pop songs and you are trying to go to the rhythm and you're doing it.
No, man,
it's amazing.
Imagine Dance Revolution, but with a stylus. You literally have to tap to the song in there. I'm just a skater boy.
I know all these songs, and I remember the rhythms of the I'm doing on the DS. Because it was so hard to beat some of these songs. You're like,
Chicago, Marcus. Chicago was one of the hardest songs ever. If I bring Sharpie Wife in right now, she would even proclaim everything about how great Elite Beat Agents is. And they made a part 2, but they made the part 2 with only Japanese pop music because that game costs too much money to license all the music and it doesn't sell enough. That game.
Reaction. Fuck Mickey. Too far, bro. Too far. That is too far.
Hey, I ain't a Disney person. I don't get it. I don't understand why they give so much to that little rat. I don't.
He's a rat. His name is Mickey Mouse.
Rat. He a rat.
A rat.
You know, Tony told me he was a rat. You know?
Him and his goofy ass friends.
Yeah, he ain't got no more cheese mo in his system. Fuck Mickey. I stand by that.
I support
Minnie was a hoe. I said it.
I support the mouse because they own everything. They own everything.
It's time to own WWE Network as well.
Yeah, they're gonna own that. As soon as WWE enters the Disney Plus realm,
WWE Network is on Disney Plus in Indonesia already.
Can we give a shout out to Peacock? They at least try to put some organization on the WWE part of the thing.
I saw it. It was easier for me to watch my Raws for the Retro Show, Manny. But still, fuck that.
I know it ain't the network.
It is the worst streaming service I got, and I only got it because of WWE. That is it.
But you have to understand. Do you know how many people have it? Although Bel Air is a solid show.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I would not, even with Bel Air being a solid show, I was figuring out a way to watch it illegally. I would not own Peacock if it wasn't for WWE.
So what do you think was the biggest draw for Americans, Marcus? Sorry, Betty, this is excluded for the Peacock subscription. The whole library of The Office or the WWE Network? I think it was the WWE Network.
It's probably a combination of The Office and WWE Network.
No, because Marcus, I have friends, Jose, who you met, he's one of the biggest Office fans I know. He was like, I'm not buying Peacock for The Office. I've already seen all the episodes.
Yeah, and it's on TV and syndication all the time.
Yeah.
You can just turn on TV right now. I bet you the Office is on. But
Ed Helm ruined The Office. Ed Helm ruined The Office.
Wow, that's a strong take. So you're not an Andy fan. You didn't like Andy.
No, fuck Andy. The second he became the boss, he ruined it.
Yeah, but he didn't even come to work when he was the boss. He disappeared for about 3 months.
The guy needs to shut his yodeling ass up.
Hey, and then on top of that, he dated a lot of the cute girls on the show. I mean, he had Aaron.
Yeah, but Erin looked like she was what, maybe 30? Andy looked like he was like 45.
He looked like LA Knight. He looked like LA Knight. Talk to me. Talk to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's.
I never put 2 and 2 together, but it does. It makes sense.
Anyway, on that note, I think this concludes another edition of the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. Talk to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Eric. Yeah.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
Yeah. Ask somebody. I am Grand Finale. Gotta say it with me. Say it with me now.
Grand Finale. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, he was doing that shit in the NWA, and I was like, man, you need to stop doing that shit. And I still don't like the I still don't like it. I still don't like it, LA Knight. But that man is a megastar, not a superstar.
Hey, he's oozing machismo right now, man, because it makes me hilarious. I mean, he lost. He literally lost to Grayson Waller, but I feel like his stock is higher than Grayson Waller right now. Just to put that out.
Well,
yeah.
Grayson Waller's got Stanga, the greatest Indian of all time at the moment.
Hey, Veer's coming. And when Veer come, Shanky, Jinder, and Grayson's guy, y'all watch out because Veer got fashion sense, man. You know, his fit game, like if you give me some advice about what clothes to buy, because I can fit that shit now.
By the way, I got to premiere Veer. The WrestleMania after Raw, Veer has to show up, and I bet you, I swear to God, he's going to get the biggest pop in the history.
Oh, wait. Last time Marcus was on Raw as Retro, we saw a promo spot for Tiger Ali Singh. He hasn't appeared yet. He hasn't even appeared yet.
Taz, man. TAS, man. Taz. Tiger. Ooh. Yeah, he had the look. He just was god awful.
I don't think he even had to look, Eric.
He was a big man.
He looks like an out of shape Rusev.
Really?
He really did.
Is my memory really bad?
Your memory is tainted.
I feel like he was in shape.
Your memory is tainted.
Yeah.
Not Tiger Ali Singh. Shit. Anyway, guys, stay sharp. Ooze machismo. Hey, yo, all those good things. Until next week, Manny, you know what to do.
Oh.